Good morning, this is your Math Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is a quiz review on graphing lines and writing linear equations. So it says for the graph below, give the y-intercept. Please remember the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and we can sit there and go, hey, it crosses right here at positive 2, so b equals 2, or as I prefer to remind you, the ordered pair is 0, 2, but you could have put b equals 2 and that would have been fine. The next thing it asked for is the slope. Well, remember, slope is rise over run, and we need to count out our rise and our run, which is basically the y's over the x's. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'm going up 6 in the y direction, and then I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 6 over 8. When I drop that into Desmos, I find it reduces to 3 over 4. So my slope is 3 over 4. Then it says write in slope-intercept form. Well, that means they want it in this form right here, y equals mx plus b. Well, we want it to look like y equals mx plus b. So y equals 3/4 x plus 2. All right, so that takes care of that one. The next one, they ask us to give the y-intercept. Well, it's already written in the form. When I look at that, it's like, oh, that looks like y equals mx plus b. So my y-intercept happens to be 0, comma 6, where b equals 2. And my slope is a negative 3/5. You know what? While we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and remind us of the angry man eyebrows. The angry man eyebrows look like this. So over here it was positive, so it was a positive 3/4 because it's going up. Here we have a negative, so it needs to look like this and going down. But we always start at our y-intercept, so we're going to start at 0, 6. So I'm going to mark that point. This is where it crosses the y-axis. And we're going to count down 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I had a straight edge, I'd try to draw a straight line. Yeah, I think I got one here. Just a second. Oops. Got all sorts of things popping up on my screen after I reached across. So, drawing my line, I only have 2 points, and that's okay. That's all you need to have a line. So connect those 2 points, and that's my linear equation. And notice it matches the negative eyebrow. All right, it says, what is the equation of a line that passes through the points 3, negative 7, and negative 6, 8? And then if I read farther, it says, give the y-intercept and m and write in slope-intercept form. So once again, we are looking for it to be written like y equals mx plus b. Okay, well, in this case, this is going to be a combination problem where we have to use Desmos and we have to use we're going to use Desmos basically and the slope formula. Please remember the slope formula is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, where this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And as I've always stressed, use parentheses. So in this case, y1 is negative 7, and it'll be over 3, and this will be 8 over negative 6. Okay? All right. Now you could put x2, y2 and x2 here, and y1 and x1 here, but the 1's have to stay together, and the 2's have to stay together. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Desmos and see what we can do with Desmos. So in Desmos, I'm going to go parenthesis minus parenthesis, and parenthesis minus parenthesis, and I'm going to input the y's up here, which was -7, and then I just had an 8 in this set of parentheses. In this set of parentheses, I had a 3, and over here I had a -6. So I end up with -15 divided by 9, and it gives me this ugly decimal, but if I hit the circle, it turns it into -5/3. So my slope is -15/9, and that equals -5/3. So we now have our slope, but we still need our y-intercept. Well, we can continue with Desmos. And if we continue with Desmos and we enter our points, and to do that, we're going to hit the plus button in table, and we're going to put in 3, -7, and then we're going to put in -6 and 8, and then we're going to hit this button where over here with the funny dots, and it says add regression, and we find out there's our equation. As a matter of fact, I can copy it, but there's our equation, and I go, oh, it's -2. So my y-intercept happens to be -2, or as I prefer, 0, -2, but I'm going to write b equals -2 on my paper. So at this point, we can stop sharing and go back to our paper. So I wrote down my ordered pair of 0, -2. I wrote my slope of -5/3, and I now just need to write it in y equals mx plus b format. So in this case, it'll be y equals -5/3 x minus 2. All right, continuing on. Given the equation of the line 6x plus 2y equals -10, find the slope and y-intercept and write in slope-intercept form. All right, so they want us to write it in slope-intercept form. So that's probably where we need to start. So we're going to write down our equation. This is in standard form, 6x plus 2y equals -10. Well, the goal is to solve for y. So ultimately, I need to get y by itself. So I need to get y by itself, and I'm going to start off by moving the 6x. Well, to move it, I'm going to do the opposite of plus 6x, which is a -6x. This goes away, and now I have 2y equals -6x minus 10. All right, well, these two numbers are stuck together. They're side by side, so they're being multiplied. And undoing multiplication, I have to do division. But please remember, I have to divide everything on the other side. So this becomes y equals, because this becomes 1y, and this becomes -3x, 6 divided by 2, and this becomes -5. Well, they said they wanted it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And guess what? That's the form we're in when we solve for y. So our y-intercept is 0, -5, and our slope is -3, or -3/1. And our equation in slope-intercept form is y equals -3x minus 5. Okay, continuing on. All right, given the equation of the line 4x minus 7y equals 14, find the slope and y-intercept and write in slope-intercept form. So once again, we want it in slope-intercept form, which means we want it in y equals mx plus b form. Now I'm going to write that here just to remind us. Y equals mx plus b. Because the reason that tells us, it tells us we want the y by itself. So we have 4x minus 7y equals 14. Please remember, we're looking to get the y by itself. To do that, I need to move this 4x. To move the 4x, well, this is a plus 4x. To move it to the other side, I need to do a minus 4x. And I have -7y equals -4x plus 14. Okay. I need to get the 7 away from the y. It's currently being multiplied, so now I have to divide. Make sure you divide with the sign, so it's divided by -7. This goes away, and now we have 1y, or just y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so this is 4/7 x. This becomes a -2. So we need it in y equals mx plus b format. And there we have it. So our y-intercept is 0, -2, or b equals -2. And our slope is 4/7. And our equation is y equals 4/7 x minus 2. All right. The next thing, graph the equation y minus 8 equals 3 times x plus 6. And when we look at this, we go, oh, this is in point slope form. All right. So let's deal with the slope first because it's the easiest. It's the part outside. And in this case, it's 3 or 3/1. The tricky part, well, I'm going to go ahead and write the equation below it. So we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And that's how I knew that that was my m. Okay, but what's tricky about this is we go, oh, the x is associated with a 6, which it is, and the y is associated with an 8, and we know that to be true. But please remember, when it went into the equation, the signs became liars. Instead of a +6, it's actually a -6. Instead of a -8, it's actually a +8. So I need to go over to -6, +8, because that's my starting point. And my slope is 3 or 3/1. And please remember, we need to consider the angry man eyebrows. Don't have a whole lot of room, so I'm going to squeeze it off to the side. Angry man eyebrow says, oh, this is a positive slope, so it needs to look like that because it's a positive slope. You know, this ended up being a problem on this one. I didn't even realize that when I made it, but here we go. 3/1, so down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So there's my line. It's kind of stuck off to the side. And really, you only had to do 2 points. I'm doing 3 just because it shows it better. All right, and what I did was 1, 2, 3. There's my 3 over 1. And then 1, 2, 3 over 1. All right, because remember, it's y's over the x's. Okay, the next one. What is the equation of line that passes the points -5, 6 and -4, 7? And it's a right in point slope form. So let's go ahead and remind ourselves what that is. Point slope form is up here. There's our formula for it. So our formula is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's what I need. Okay, our starting point, I'm just going to choose the first one. All right. So my starting point is -5, 6. I could have chosen this one, but I'm going to choose that one just because I choose the first one because it's the first one. So I have -5, 6, and that's my starting point. All right. So we know that, but I need to calculate m, which means I need my slope formula, which is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And as I've said before, parenthesis minus parenthesis, parenthesis minus parenthesis. And I'm going to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So this is going to be 6 over -5. And this will be -7 over -4. At this point, I'm going to switch over to Desmos. And before that, I got a bunch of stuff I got to clear out. Okay, we're going to share. And I need to get rid of some numbers. Please remember it's parenthesis minus parenthesis, and the y's will always be on top. So we have a 6 up there, then we have a -7, and then below that we have a -5 and a -4. Make sure I have that right. Looks good. So we end up with 13 divided by -1, which is -13. All right, so now we know our slope. So we can go ahead and stop our share because we now know our slope, and that's all we needed because we already had the starting point. And so we said m equals -13 over 1, which equals -13. So my slope is -13. And we wanted it to look like y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, please don't forget, this is my x and this is my y. So I'm going to write those down. Y6 equals -13x, and this is 5. But please remember, when they go into the equation, they become liars. So this +6 becomes a -6, and this -5 becomes a +5. So our equation that it wanted us to write below is y minus 6 equals -13 times x plus 5. Okay, last part of this. Okay, give the starting point below and the slope and write in point slope form. So once again, if they want it in point slope form, they want y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And by the way, this right here, that should not be there. That's a mistake on my part. Don't want it there at all. So here we go. It says give the starting point. Well, the starting point can be either one of those points, but I always take the first one. Why? Because it's the first one. So I'd say my starting point is -6, 1. So I'm going to call this x1 and this y1. Now I need to count out my slope. Now please remember the angry man eyebrows. The angry man eyebrows say, you know what? This is going down, so we know our slope is going to be negative. So we know we're going to have a negative slope. And when I count down, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5 and I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I went over 11. So my slope is, remember, it's the y's over the x's. So in this case, it's -5 because we went down 5 and over 11. So -5/11ths. So we have y, and we know y1 is associated with a y, so I'm going to put a 1 here. We know our slope is -5 over 11. This is x. And then we know the 6 is associated with the x's. But this +1, when it goes inside, becomes a liar and switches signs. This 6, when it goes inside, becomes a liar and it becomes a positive. Okay? So that's our equation. I hope that helped. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.